at 12:30, I feature someone who's doing something wonderful and inspiring in the community. And this is my weekly lunch with Carol. Wednesdays at 12:30. And I'm so happy to tell you I have Brandy Iberia. She is the owner and CEO of Luminosity. And you do so many things, Brandy. It's really hard to pinpoint all of the things, but I have to congratulate you because you just wrote a book and got an award, 365 Days of Loving You. Now, how did you get started in deciding to write
Oh
a
my goodness. Yeah, though, great question. Well, first of all, before I even jump into the book, Carol, I have to say it is an honor to be able to have this conversation with you on this platform. I'm so grateful for you just as a media professional. I've said this to you many a times before. You're my mentor without even knowing it.
well,
So
that's
I'm always,
Mhm.
yes, I'm always so grateful just for opportunities to share what the things are that I'm working on, that I hope make some small impact. So
You
something
do.
like this is second to none. And so I did write a book a year ago this month. 365 days of loving you. And so I'm like, okay, this is 1 year of the focus on including me in my own life. Right. And so this was my own journey of self-discovery. And I actually did the book through a cohort called Author Lab. And so they literally are like a author manufacturing company. I mean, it's a factory. And in 90 days, the way the cohort is set up, in 90 days, you come out with a packaged product, marketed and ready to go. So I have to give a shout out to Jelando Rogers over at Author Lab Talk Consulting. And though that's the publisher that I went through, but the book had been actually stewing in me for about 2 years, right? And there were all of these little journals that I would write, entries that I would write just throughout my journey. And so what I realized on my journey of healing, if you will, that instead of focusing on if this person gets healed and if that person gets healed, or then my life will be better because it's all them, right? Don't we do that? We deflect the energy on
Yes.
everyone else. If they would show up for me, then I wouldn't be upset. And then I realized, Brandy, when have you showed up for you? Right? Like you show up for other people. And so that was my aha moment, because I would make time for everybody else, but when it came time for me, it was a second thought. Well, no, I'm not gonna cook the healthy meal. I'll go to McDonald's because it's quick. Oh no, I don't worry about getting a little extra rest. I need to finish this project for this person. And when I realized that I was actually at the end of the suffering, at the end of the short end of the stick, I said, no, this can't be anymore. And so thus 365 days of loving you came about because I said, this can't be one day. This has to be every day for the rest of my life.
Well, I just love the idea. And something I think a lot of people, and really, I think men, women are very guilty of this. Mothers, we want to impress and please other people. But in order to make other people feel good and happy, you really have to be centered in your own soul and your own self. And a lot of people forget that.
And the thing is, and I think we forget it because it's easier. It's easier to shift focus. But what I realized is that you can't pour from an empty well, right? And so I'm showing up, but I'm not giving 100%. Even though I'm there, I'm depleted. And so I said, what is it? If this is what it looks like when Brandy is depleted, what might it look like if I was full? Right. And not looking for it from necessarily other people. If other people decide they want to give you love and show up in your life and celebrate you, that's an added bonus. But I get to spend time with me, even without choice, for the rest of my life. Like, you can't get away from you.
And I think it's important. A lot of people don't like to look inward. They don't like to self-reflect, and they don't like solitude. I have found that is the way I actually become refreshed and to find my journeys and to do the best I can and be the best person I can. Now, what are some of the things that you have what are some of the tools you use to get to this point, Brandy? Because a lot of people need this help.
Yeah, I love that you brought up, that reflection piece. That's huge. And I think, although we talk about a lot of the negative things that have come out of the last 2 years, 2020 into 2021, if for nothing else, it did cause us to take a moment and
Yes.
be still.
Yeah.
Right. And deal with us, whether we wanted to or not, because we had to be at home. We had to look at our families. We had to look at ourselves in a way that maybe we hadn't done in a while. And for some people, that was an opportunity for them to triumph and champion that opportunity. For others, it's been difficult, right? Because it is hard to unpack those things. And so again, this is why I created a tool. You're not, even though you are you by yourself, you're not alone in this world. You're not alone in this world. And so I created the tool. The book in itself is a tool to carry you throughout the year. And what's really cool about it, it's a thick book because it's 365 days, but it's broken into 52 weeks. So it's bite-sized pieces. And so what we do is we literally take 1 week. It's about 2 to 3 pages for the opening chapters. And then you have activities to now go from learned knowledge to activity knowledge. And then we start the week 2. And so in addition to that, I've created a cohort that holds you accountable. So every month we do a check-in and say, hey, have you hit your weekly inclusion sessions for you? And then also, because life happens, we don't put you in a space where now I feel guilty because now I'm letting down myself again because I missed the week before. Right. And so it's
Yes.
always about being kind to yourself. And so for instance, some of the chapters, it's not always all heavy either. If anyone knows me, and I think I have a copy of the book there so you can see it's fun. We're
I love
laughing.
that picture. You look
We're
so
happy.
light.
And that's a genuine smile. And so, the book isn't heavy. It isn't deep throughout the whole time. Like, for instance, there's one chapter that says, color me joyful. I decided I wanted to wear my colors today because there was at one time in my life, I wore all black. And so I didn't think anything of it. But even our wardrobe is a reflection of where we are. So I said, why all black? Okay, I blend in. I don't stand out. What am I hiding from? So
Mm.
all of these little pieces that we don't realize are manifestation of what's going on the inside, we start to unpack. So there are all kinds of
Oh, I
tips and
love that.
tools you can take into 2022, 1 week at a time.
It sounds so good. And I have to say, if you're just joining us for Lunch with Carol, this is Brandy Iberia. She is CEO and owner of Luminosity Enterprises, but she does so much. I know you have a talk network. You help, you help people find love. Actually, you have like
Yeah.
singles come together, and it's a faith-based organization.
Yes.
And I think it's very important because I think sometimes it's hard to find the right person. So you're bringing people together, which is beautiful as well. But that's just a small part of what you do.
Yeah, I
And
was gonna say a lot of this too, especially when you start to deal with singleness, single for the holidays. Oh my goodness. And then with the pandemic, it's been hard enough
Mhm.
trying to find a date without COVID as your as your
It's bad
wingman.
enough when
Like,
there's no COVID. Yes. But I have to say, we have someone who's made a comment, Reginald or Raquel or Rocky. Do you know her? She says, that's good stuff, Brandy Iberia. So thank you,
thank
Raquel.
you.
Thank you for listening. And I think that's important. If you have a comment, if you have a question for Brandy, feel free to ask her a question. And I think one thing that is so important as we get older, and I think all people need to always take time to think about their purpose, their
Yes.
goals, and their life, and figure out what they can do to not only make their life better, but what can they do to leave back for other people for the greater good. I find that intensely rewarding.
Absolutely. I think the other thing I'll just throw in there, in terms of purpose, again, a lot of people are looking for their purpose, but until you deal with you,
Mhm.
until you start to unpack all of these different things, what ends up happening is we're walking around as an imposter. We're walking around with an image that we think the world wants to see. And
Right.
so until you can love the authentic you behind the mask, then you can never walk completely in purpose. Because there's things that are attached to what you've been through that is it would help other people, right? And so sometimes we shy away from those things because maybe there's shame attached to it, or hardship, or pain, right? But we can turn that pain into purpose. Nothing that you've gone through will be wasted
Yes,
unless you make
absolutely.
that choice, right?
Yes, and you can own it, and you have to confront any trauma or any past difficulties or challenges in your life.
Yes.
And I love your spirit, and I love the way you reach out. You have done so much for the community, and you continue to do a lot. I know you're planning on starting your own network, and I know that's in the works. So,
Whew.
can you talk about that? I know it's a difficult
Absolutely. Yeah,
process.
no, it's so exciting. Actually, that's why I'm actually a little still tired from last night. We did a taping. You talked a little about singles, and then of course the network for something that I do every year for singles and single talk. So I have the group Single Talk, which is 1,400 singles strong, y'all, from all over the USA. So if you're interested in being a part of it's a faith-based group. But again, we just talk about everything to deal with singleness and just life in general, because single is just your status, it's not your identity. And so then we also have Single Talk South Africa, which is 250 single strong. Oh my God, right? So again, you might be single, or you might be, just, walking this life alone, but you don't have to be by yourself. I guarantee you there's a community of people that you can attach to. And so the network, Saved in the City Christian Network, oh my God.
Oh, I
So
love
I've
that.
celebrated 5 years with Saved in the City. It was solutions, kingdom solutions for real world issues, basically a biblical approach to all of the things that we deal with in the world. And so it started as a blog, and then it transformed into a radio show, then back to a podcast show, and then back to radio. And now,
You're amazing.
expanding into streaming networks. So if you think of things like TBN, if you've ever heard of that
Mhm.
before, or Daystar, that kind of programming. But the thing is, it's unconventional Christian content. And so it's by believers for everybody. So we might have a food blogger on there. Everything is not necessarily going to be church based. However, the faith is still evident and strong. And so last night we did a 3-day taping in one day. I had 3 outfit changes.
I know you because
Oh my,
you rock those outfits, Brandy.
and full makeup and everything. Yeah, so it's for something called Healing Prep. So we're preparing for healing in 2022. Everyone talks about healing. I'm healed, but most of us negate the process. And so again, we're walking around saying we're healed, but we really haven't gone all the way through. So we talked
I love
about
that.
how to be prepared for that process. When you start to unpack trauma, there's so much that goes along with it. You got to have support when you start to open those doors of
Yes.
darkness. You have to be prepared. You might even have to take some days off of work,
Well,
when
mental
you're going through that
restorative,
healing.
yes, that's very
And so we
important.
talk a little bit about that. We share transparently what we've gone through and how we've overcome. And so I'm so excited for that to air actually next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I look forward to seeing that. And someone just asked you, I think it was Raquel, Robin, says, please put the name of your book in the chat. Love your enthusiasm. Many people benefit what you can benefit from what you're sharing. And that's very true.
Absolutely.
Because I
Yes.
love what you say. You know what? A lot of people forget, Brandy. It is work. When you have issues in your life, and I've gone through it as well, but I have done so much as to lock myself into a room
Yeah.
and have that long situation of a pity party or whatever you have. You have to do work. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
And that's what some people forget, that you have
Yes.
to work toward
Yes.
mental health
Yes.
and happiness. I mean, I
Yeah. But
hate to say it, but you do.
exactly. But you don't have to do it alone. So
No,
yes, the book is
it's your
here.
book.
We can do it together. I am your self-love guide. So
365 days of loving
yes.
you. That
Yes.
picture is phenomenal. I have to tell you, it looks so good. But and I love the fact that Brandy, you bring people in with your
Oh,
journeys,
for sure.
and that is so important because it's not like you say, if you want to do it alone, you can,
Yes.
but it's better to have support. And you have the best support system, one of the strongest I've ever seen, because you have people from all walks of life.
I
But most
do.
importantly, you're reaching a lot of people and helping to lift them up.
Oh,
And
well,
bless it's
that's
really
what it's all
important.
about.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm just so excited. I get to talk to you, and you get to share your book and with our listeners and our viewers, because I think this is something we all can benefit from, and I just love it. Oh, look, our producer James Coos just put up the book on the screen, so it is there. It is. He's got a link and
It's
everything.
long.
You
The
are
short version
wonderful.
is www.365daysofloving.me.
Oh, of loving.me.
Yeah, that's an easier one to remember.
Well, there, you know what? All I can say is keep up the good work, because you know what you're doing. You're not only transforming lives, you're making our community better. Because when people are healed and people are in a good place, they can give, they can open up, they can
Yeah.
share, they can be inclusive, and they don't spread their trauma to loved ones, and that's a very serious issue. So God bless you.
Thank
Brandy.
you.
Thank you
I'm
so
appreciative.
much. I'm so happy, and I have to get the book now. I haven't even read it. I just saw it on Facebook, so now I'm excited. But always a pleasure to have you and all of our listeners out there. Brandy Iberia, she's really a dynamo. Just go on social media, you'll see all the things she's done. A marketing genius. She's done so much for Milwaukee and helped people, and continues to do so. So thank you, Brandy, and continued success. And I know I'll be seeing you rocking those outfits. And thanks to all of our listeners. We'll see you next Wednesday at 12:30.